So what do you think about this? Because we're finding out more about the situation that Samuel Olsen was in his short life as the proceedings to do with Teresa Balboa move forward. So Samuel Olsen, this little boy, he actually was supposed to be in the full custody of his mother, Sarah. Sarah hadn't seen this little child since January 2020. Now, she knew that her ex, Dalton Olsen, had kept Samuel. Maybe he'd seen Samuel for a visit and he has kept him. So the court systems are aware, but in the meantime, Samuel Olsen apparently is going to a school. This might be a little kindergarten, or I don't know, just he's very young, but I imagine this is just his first little bit of school, and he's enrolled in this school and he's going. He was last seen at school on April the 30th. But I'm just wondering what the fuck is going on with the legal system, because are they saying that possession is 9/10 of the law when it comes to little children who have been ruled to be put into custody with one parent, another parent who lost the custody? Why? Was it drugs? Was it unable to provide a more secure home? Who knows? Why then, if someone has possession of a child and they're not supposed to, why aren't they hunted down to all strength of the law? Why aren't there... I mean, this is where Tyler's law comes into it, doesn't it, in effect, because Tyler's law is would be a federal plan, so that parents, and a law stating that parents can't move state with children, so they can't be sort of lost in the system. I don't know if Dalton Olsen has left the state that he should have been with Samuel, but what am I trying to say here? Sam wasn't supposed to be in the full custody of his father. He was supposed to be in the custody of his mother and maybe having visits with his dad. And yet, since January 2020, Sarah, the mum, hasn't set eyes on him. Now, did she know where he was, roughly? Kinda. How does it take the law a year and a half nearly to return a child to where custody has been awarded? Whether that custody is safer or not, we don't know, because sometimes it's not, right? Because from what we understand so far, Cash Gernon's father, Trevor, had full custody of him and Carter. And look where that ended up. So why is a child... he's enrolled in school. I mean, his whereabouts can be found. He can be known. There's probably ways to find him, but why weren't the law acting and going and getting this child back? Why does Sarah then have to go through more legal proceedings? She's already gone through that to get custody, and now she's having to fight again to get her child back. I mean, we see cases like this all the time. Sometimes people are just desperate. Their children are in the Middle East with a parent, and the mom, say, is Australian and is fearful for her child's life or well-being, or thinks that the children have been taken back to the Middle East to spite her. And parents have stolen children back, and in these sorts of instances it gets very intense and very divisive, trying to decide who's right, what's right, because sometimes children are just taken to hurt. Is this what Dalton Olsen was doing, taking Samuel away from his mom to hurt her? because it's not like he wanted to care for his son, because he's left him with a violent woman. Teresa Balboa is proven to be violent, unstable, maybe in need of some help and support and some healing, rather than being in charge of a child that's not hers, whom she has no right to. She is nobody to this child. Yet again, a nobody to the child. And now the child is dead. And I just can't get over what we're learning here. From January 2020, Mom has not seen the child that she has full custody of, and yet Daddy's not arrested. Is this just 9/10 of the law's possession, you know? Why does this relate to small children? Seemingly. Why was it so hard? What was taking so long for Sarah to get these children back? I imagine that immediately she reported them. I mean, I think if she didn't know where he was, he should have been on a missing persons list. Just like I would have expected Carter and Cash to be on a missing persons list. So if they weren't missing, if Cash and Carter were known to be at Monica's by the mother, why the fuck hasn't she sent a cop around to arrest Monica and to get the children back? Why doesn't it work like this? This is the ruse that Teresa Balboa used on Dalton, assuming that he didn't know what was going on. She said, the mom, Sarah, came around with a police officer and said, look, I'm not supposed to have this child, and Sam was taken off me. Well, this is actually what should have happened in the case of Carter and Cash Gernon. Why wasn't Melinda or whomever, or a CPS officer in the law, at Monica's door months ago, getting these children away from Monica's house? It's so... I just don't comprehend it. It is incomprehensible what goes on. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not speaking sort of in a linear way. I'm so sorry. I'm jumping around a lot. Maybe I should try to re-record this. I don't know. I never do I? I'm going to tie my hair up because I'm going on the ferry. It's going to blow around and get knotty. Yeah, so we've got these little children that aren't even where law has said they should be. Whether or not we can personally think that was safe or not safe as it was, but the law had decided that a certain parent were having certain children. Suddenly these children aren't there for months on end. 2 children dead. Let's look at the common denominators here. No follow-up, no upholding of the law and the rulings, a sort of very laid-back approach possibly by parents. I would be shouting this out. I mean, I guess then we'd be having parents shouting this out all day, every day, wouldn't we? Because this bullshit goes on all the time, and it's got to fucking stop. These selfish, immature, good-for-nothing people who use children as a weapon. Apart from very violent, cruel sociopaths, murderers, etc., I think there's nothing more abhorrent, disgusting, and scumbuggery-like than parents, men or women, using children to harm an ex-partner because they are butthurt, because they are petty, because they feel ruined, because they've been rejected, because there is hate, animosity. I think there is nothing more disgusting in life. I really do. And yet it's just an epidemic, isn't it? It's just an epidemic, or it's just part of culture. It's just what you do, isn't it? groups of girlfriends sitting around telling each other how to fuck someone over. Men sitting quietly alone, seething, while they feel like their world crumbles around them and all they can see is red. All they can feel is rage. And this is epidemic. We have women and their children being set alight, alive in a car. This was Rowan Baxter who perpetrated that against Hannah and her children here in Brisbane. You know, you've got Christopher Shitstain Watts putting his 2 young, beautiful little girls into oil batteries and burying his pregnant wife in the ground nearby, just discarded. These people that feel like their world comes to only this possible conclusion: to abandon a child with someone they know is unsuitable, or to take them out, or to just leave their world behind altogether themselves, or to take children with them when they go, either through their pain or just because of the hurt, the immaturity and the insanity that seems to follow when our relationships fail, because we feel like we're never going to live life again, because life is so darned hard anyway, because we're starting from scratch again and again at 30 and 40 and 50. Life shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be so difficult to live for a living, to live on the planet, live your life out. There's war and pestilence and disease everywhere. And I guess I am talking from a super privileged background of a Western society where, look, I mean, looking forward, we are looking into the apocalypse, aren't we? But we feel that our lives are just too desperate and difficult. We feel that there is not a lot to live for, or that we can't bear to go on in certain circumstances. This is just, life isn't supposed to be so complicated and stressful and fraught with tragedy, you know. I mean, we should be able to move through tragedy and continue on. And people are just hating living on this fucked up planet surrounded by their fucked up mankind. It's not right. And you know, the children are suffering most of all because they are innocent, because they're not making the choices, you know. But I do feel so much desperate empathy for the soullessness, the emptiness of our lives, and the meaninglessness of our lives, you know. And even for those that, you know, started off with a strength from their belief in Jesus Christ or a God, or, you know, yeah. Anywho, wow, that was depressing, wasn't it? I'll fuck off, ski. See you later.